It may surprise you to learn that e-scooters and e-skateboards are not allowed on campus. But is that ban being enforced? I'm Betsy Gebhardt. The story coming up on Update News.
The second and third largest bank failures, Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, have many questioning if their money is safe. Today, we look into the collapse of these banks and see how the companies they serviced will move forward.
I'm Carson Wells, and coming up, I'll tell you how San Jose State women in aviation are breaking into a very male-dominated field.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Brianna Bartlett.
And I'm Betsy Gebhardt. We begin with a follow-up on a tragic accident that hit the San Jose State campus hard. Last fall, freshman Camden McWright was killed while riding an e-scooter from campus to Spartan football practice. It shocked and saddened the Spartan community. But since then, there has been little change on campus when it comes to these controversial vehicles.
Football player Camden McWright's untimely death last October stunned the San Jose State community. He was headed from campus on an e-scooter to the athletic fields when he pulled out in front of a school bus that had the green light. The CHP says the bus driver was not charged. McWright was not wearing a helmet. The tragedy made international news. A petition drive is demanding the university provide transportation for athletes. It's collected more than 1,200 signatures. Organizers say there's reason for hope.
I have a meeting with the president of San Jose State University, hopefully soon. I was talking to her assistant, and they're looking at their calendar, see where they can fit me in.
But as for the e-scooters themselves, not much has changed. The so-called motorized micro-mobility vehicles continue to be set up for rental at campus entrances. They appear to be as popular as ever, with no helmet rules. The university is okay with self-propelled vehicles, the ones you push with your feet, but motorized scooters and motorized skateboards are not allowed on campus.
These things can go 20 miles an hour, 25 miles an hour. They fly.
But is this campus-wide ban being enforced? The university's policy, sent out 3 years ago, states electronic scooters and boards are prohibited, and violators may be cited under the California Vehicle Code.
However, when it comes to giving out tickets, campus police don't usually do that. Instead, university officials say they hold up their hand, stop the violators, and educate them.
You're impacting other people, that you're weaving in and out of students, faculty, and staff, and making it uncomfortable for others.
As for the Lime and Bird rentals,
I've told each of these companies I don't want those scooters on our campus.
Finally, officials remind students, wear a helmet and pay attention. It may save your life. At San Jose State, Betsy Gebhardt, Update News. San Jose State makes sweeps about once a month and confiscates stray devices. The university says it will soon put up fresh signage around campus, reminding students about the e-scooter ban.
The BART to Downtown San Jose project is in its second phase, but it may have hit a snag that could mean more delays. Reporter Alexandra Romero has an update.
Santa Clara Valley Transportation Authority needs one thing to stay on schedule. They are still negotiating with some business owners whose properties will be affected by the project. Most of the tunnels are located underneath Santa Clara Street on public property, but the agency still needs some easements and properties to build stations. And some of the businesses are still negotiating.
Maybe where the property owner says, yes, I support the project, I agree, but I don't agree on how much money you're offering. Then they can do something, they can enter into a possession and use agreement, and that allows us to have access and continue with the project, and then they do further negotiations on price.
We have been, especially through Supervisor Chavez, very concerned about the impact to businesses, and so she asked that VTA create a committee that would work with the downtown business associations and local businesses to really hear their concerns and try to figure out how we can best support them.
Early construction is already underway. If it stays on schedule, system testing and passenger service could be completed in early 2030. Downtown San Jose, Alexandra Romero.
It's the largest bank failure since the 2008 financial crisis. Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank failed last weekend, triggering a federal takeover. Now the feds are investigating whether bank executives knew they would fail. Silicon Valley Bank specializes in financing and banking for venture capital-backed startups, making it a preferred bank in the tech sector. Startups deposit their venture capital into Silicon Valley Bank to finance their operations, but that capital is often high risk because startups don't always have more rounds of funding coming in. And that depleted the funds available to the bank. By last Friday, clients of Silicon Valley Bank lost confidence in the financial institution and went to withdraw their money in what is known as a run on the bank. And regulators shut the bank down.
No, we're gonna step in and help. They worked around and said, we'll front the money. If there are any losses, we're going to assess a fee to all the banks in the U.S. system and charge them a little piece and pool all that money together to cover the losses so that no taxpayers directly pay that money.
The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation said all depositors will have access to their deposits and that the nation's banking system remains sound.
Thinking of ordering some last-minute items from Amazon in time for St. Patrick's Day? Will they get to you on time? Some Amazon Prime members complain that it may take longer than 2 days. They're so frustrated, they're suing the giant supplier. So what's going on? Reporter Brianna Mathau went looking for answers.
More and more Amazon Prime users say their orders have been delayed. The item will be listed as Prime, but when they process it, sometimes the order will say it's going to take more than 2 days.
Things don't come in within 2 days. Recently, things have been coming in late.
So what's really going on? On its website, Amazon says your Prime delivery depends on several things: availability, the deadline, and the shipping address. It also says for some items, you'll get 2-day delivery or very quick shipping. As an Amazon Prime member, people expect to hear that knock on the door or that doorbell ring, ensuring that they get their packages within 2 days like promised. But increasingly, Prime members say that isn't happening, and it's so frustrating. 2 members filed a class action lawsuit against the shipping giant. The suit says in part, Amazon markets specific benefits that consumers will receive by purchasing the product, including same-day or 2-day delivery and shipping speeds. However, in reality, the product does not actually provide its advertised benefits. This Amazon worker says there are issues, but some things can't be helped. They're speaking to us on the condition that we don't identify them.
Drivers have an 8-hour period to deliver between 200 to 300 packages a day, meaning that's over 100 stops. It's sometimes impossible for that one driver to make all their stops within a safe, timely manner.
Now that there's a lawsuit set in place, it may be up to the court to sort it out.
This month, we celebrate women's history, focusing on women breaking into male-dominated careers. One of those fields is aviation. The San Jose State Aviation Program is seeing a growing number of young women signing up to get hands-on experience. Reporter Carson Wells joins us live on campus to tell us more about the Women's Aviation Club.
According to the Pilot Institute, as of 2021, women make up about 9% of the total FAA certified pilots and 23% of non-pilot roles. This is one of the main reasons the San Jose State branch of Women in Aviation was founded, to encourage women to join the field and enable them to take advantage of the aviation opportunities offered here at San Jose State. The San Jose State University Aviation Bachelor of Science program is an umbrella major. The subsections allow a student to focus on what interests them. It's everything from being a mechanic to being a manager or a pilot.
We not only do things in the classroom, but we try to get out into the field.
In the field means exercises at the San Jose Medina International Airport for students interested in the mechanics or management.
Most frequent comment that I get is that people are surprised that we're not just reading off of slides and just giving them, the dry nuts and bolts, but we're actually showing them how they can take what they're learning in the classroom and apply it to the real world.
San Jose State has aviation courses taught at 2 separate locations. Some take place in the Industrial Studies building on campus, and others take place here at Reed Hillview Airport. Freshman Julia Sutter found her passion for flying at the age of 10. She's been working on getting licensed since 2020. She's already earned her private license that lets her fly without an instructor and with passengers. She just can't be hired to do so.
And my next step or goal is to get my instrument rating, and that's like an add-on to your private. So once you get that, you can fly in like bad conditions, clouds, fog, and it opens up a lot of opportunities and just makes you a better pilot in general.
Sutter belongs to SJSU's Women in Aviation Club. She says it's encouraging to meet more women who share her love of flying.
It's really cool that I'm surrounded by so many like role models that are girls and women.
The club recently traveled to Long Beach to attend an aviation conference.
We got to listen to like inspirational talks from other female pilots. We got to learn about, mental health for pilots and sustainability in aviation. There was this whole room that was just companies that wanted to talk to you.
Layler hopes that more young women continue to join the field.
I think it's one of the most badass things that a woman can do is to go into a male-dominated field and show them that, you can do just as much as any other man can do.
The Women in Aviation Club meets every Monday, and more information can be found on their Instagram page at Women in Aviation SJSU. Live, I'm Carson Wells, Update News.
San Jose State's new president is holding a summit next month to recalibrate strategy on a number of issues, including enrollment. Dr. Cynthia Teniente Madison announced the meeting during her State of the University address this week. She says SJSU enrollment is currently down only about 1%, but the number of fall applications is up. College enrollments are down around the country. Teniente Matson says SJSU has to redefine what the university offers. She said enrollment is everybody's responsibility and warned that it is also tied to funding.
Enrollment and our budget are inseparable. Although we have a compact with the governor for state funding, we must also meet system enrollment goals. It's a delicate dance.
Teniente Matson has only been on the job about 2 months. She says part of the plan to boost enrollment is to reconnect with Gen Z, adjust the new workforce initiatives, and meet the needs of adult learners.
Here's what's coming up when we get back.
In the San Jose State alumnus Darren Howrow Ray's new film titled Nisei, which highlights his grandfather's story of being in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team of segregated Japanese American soldiers who served during World War II.
Cheap and trending fast fashion is all the rage with students, but later on find out what negative impact this really has on our environment.
Is there going to be yet even more rain on the way? Stick around to find out.
At San Jose State, we really do learn by doing. This is my first semester working on our award-winning newspaper, the Spartan Daily. But my whole time here really has been about real-world skill building. Professors like Diane Gurazi continue their work in journalism while bringing that knowledge back to us in the classroom each semester. Then we're on the Spartan Daily, Update News, or the Spear. We get to put all that into practice. We even get to work with cutting-edge tools like our new VR lab, where we get to learn new ways of real storytelling using 3D virtual reality.
Our students have many opportunities to work in newsrooms that function like the ones they will encounter in their professional careers. Here in Update News, for instance, we produce a weekly show that is aired on local access television in San Jose, and we produce video news that is digital first. Students will get experience as producers, anchors, and field reporters.
The Spartan Daily, our award-winning student newspaper, has not missed a scheduled publication date in more than 80 years and remains one of the longest-standing papers of its kind in the Western United States. Through classroom instruction and our newsroom labs, we give our students the tools to succeed and create their own bright futures. Learn by doing. If you're interested in joining our program, visit our website for more information.
A San Jose State alumnus came back to his roots to tell the story of his grandfather, a second-generation, or Nisei, Japanese-American who served in World War II. Nisei is a short film that highlights the Japanese Americans who served in World War II while their families were forcibly segregated in internment camps, along with thousands of others.
I'm here to see my father before I ship out.
The 442nd Regimental Combat Team was a segregated Japanese American team. It is recognized as the most decorated unit for its size and length of service in the U.S. military's history. Among those brave soldiers was Sergeant Minoru Miyazaki, San Francisco native and grandfather to Darren Haru Ray. Ray grew up to become a screenwriter and director, and now he's sharing his grandfather's story.
I always knew that this was a story I wanted to tell. When I was younger, I didn't necessarily felt I had the skill set. I didn't feel confident in my abilities. And so, had this idea in my head for years, even back when I was in college 10 years ago.
Darren brought his grandfather's story to life with the help of Spartan Film Studios. It's a summer program composed of San Jose State students, alumni, and faculty in the radio, TV, and film department. The group turns the university theater into a full-on production set.
Having filmed it with San Jose State students, it actually allowed us to kind of slow down instead of sort of rushing everything in the last minute, which is how a lot of low-budget film shoots go.
Darren's sister, Katie Sumie Ray, says she couldn't be more proud of the film, and she hopes their grandfather's story resonates with viewers.
When I was in school, this was maybe a paragraph in our history books, and so as more people become aware of it, I'm hoping more people become interested and realize what has happened in our history and, something we don't want to repeat again.
Darren expressed a similar feeling.
The point of this film is that I'm not necessarily government bad or, the white man's bad for doing this. It's about, look how awesome my grandfather was. Look how awesome this community was.
Nisei premiered at the virtual Cinejoy Film Festival from March 1st through the 12th. But if you missed your chance to see it, the next showing is at the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival in Morgan Hill on April 15th.
Students on a budget may stop at nothing to find the cheapest deals. But when it comes to clothing, affordable so-called fast fashion could do more harm than good. Reporter Heather.
It's cheap, trendy, and quick. Fast fashion is when manufacturers mass-produce inexpensive hot new styles, and it's taken over the clothing world. While many students are aware of the damage this has on the environment, roughly 150 billion new clothing items are being produced every year to meet demand. The buyers are primarily young adults.
Fast fashion is so unsustainable because it's characterized by overproduction and excess waste because it uses such low quality and synthetic materials.
The Sustainable Living Guide recently published a list of the most unsustainable fast fashion stores to avoid. So now some brands have instead taken a step towards sustainability, but that environmental initiative comes with a much higher price tag.
The average student budget is $300 a month, which means for some, cheap fast fashion may be the only option.
A lot of people do prefer fast fashion just because of its affordability, and because it fits like the modern, styles.
Activists have taken to social media to inform users of the harm fast fashion can cause the environment. Though many students are mindful, social media and celebrity endorsements often encourage fast fashion consumption.
It's really easy to be influenced and persuaded into buying something that you don't need.
The average fast fashion garment costs less than $10. It's so cheap it may make it easier for students to disregard sustainability. Some argue that it is possible to help the environment and keep costs low.
On a student budget, I would say one of the most impactful things to do is just focusing on reducing, reusing and recycling everything that you have.
Experts say that eliminating fast fashion is one of the keys to preserving our planet for future generations. In San Jose, I'm Madeleine Dowds, Update News.
If you like your morning coffee a little sweet, you may want to think twice before using artificial sweeteners. A new study says those sugar substitutes may be at the heart of some health concerns. Erythritol, A sugar alcohol used in artificial sweeteners is linked to blood clots, which are known to cause heart attacks and strokes. The sugar substitute is popular for people interested in losing weight or controlling their blood sugar because it has 0 calories while still tasting sweet. But researchers say products that carry this chemical makes it easier for their platelets to activate and form blood clots and can lead to heart disease later on. Those products include Splenda Naturals and Truvi, as well as some popular diet foods, but experts say, like most things, moderation is key.
Ahead of St. Patrick's Day, the city of San Jose got some very special visitors, a delegation from its sister city of Dublin, Ireland. Dublin Lord Mayor Carolyn Conroy led the Irish delegation that met with San Jose Mayor Matt Mahan. They were welcomed with a festive parade. The sister city relationship dates back to 1986. The idea was for the two cities to collaborate on economic issues, the arts, education, and sports. Silicon Valley tech companies PayPal, Google, and Facebook all have offices in Dublin, Ireland's center of technology. The pandemic derailed visits for the past 3 years. While they are here, the Irish delegation will meet with businesses and community groups.
Will we finally get a break from all this rainy weather? Joshua Gilman has answers and your 7-day forecast.
This is Joshua Gilman with your 7-day local forecast. All right, what to expect in the next 5 days? Soils are saturated, and now since this recent atmospheric river system just passed, soils are not going to be actually super saturated, which is now leading to flooding and mudslides all over. You should plan ahead because of that, and because of that there are a bunch of inundated roads. There actually was a PCH road closure from Castroville to PCH, and that's going to be determined to be opened. And expect a little more rain into next week, just some slight showers, mainly on Monday and Wednesday. Looking at the precipitable water moisture flux map, we see that it's going to bounce into the area on Monday and it's going to play one more time. Not going to be too significant, but then it is going to hit us again. It's going to be Monday and then a little bit on Wednesday. But yeah, not going to be nearly as significant as these recent atmospheric river systems, that's for sure. Looking at the extended outlook for total precipitation amounts, it's going to be showery on the weekend, and then it's going to bump up on Monday night. We're going to see by the end of Monday night, San Jose is going to be about 1/3 of an inch. Los Gatos is 0.72, and the rest will come mainly on Wednesday. And by the end of Wednesday evening, most of the Bay Area will see about an inch of rain, no more than 2 inches. Scotts Valley has the most with 1.93. So yeah, again, not as significant, but definitely still amounts worth noting. All right, now going to the 7-day forecast starting in Santa Cruz. It's going to be overcast on Friday, mostly cloudy into the weekend, and then some of that drizzly conditions will start on Monday. Most of the rain again will be on Wednesday. Lows will be in the mid-40s. This will definitely be the coldest region of the area. And in San Francisco, they will be seeing highs consistent, yes, in the lower 60s to a little bit in the mid-50s, and all across the board about 50 degrees for the lows. And Oakland will be seeing very similar conditions with, again, partly cloudy skies on the weekend and a little bit of rain on Monday, but drizzly on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, this will be most of the rain. And finally here in San Jose, we're seeing the exact same thing, except we're seeing perhaps a little more drizzly, showery action on Tuesday. So expect 3 days of just kind of drizzly, showery conditions. And then finally, we have that nice sunny day on Thursday to end the week. And once again, lows consistent in the lower 40s and highs in the lower 60s. Alrighty, this is Joshua Gilman with your report, and once again, plan ahead with your traveling as expect some road closures and flooded roads, and just continue to stay dry. Back to the desk.
When we come back, we'll have sports.
Next, we take a look at sports and see how the San Jose State men's basketball team did in the conference tournament, and see how the softball team closed out the weekend with a couple of wins.
to sports, San Jose State men's basketball put up a fight in the Mountain West Conference tournament, but they made it to the semifinals. And Spartan softball finished with 2 big wins. Reporter Laverne Johnson has our sports update.
San Jose State's men's basketball shocked viewers after they took down the Nevada Wolfpack in the Mountain West Conference tournament 81-77 in overtime. But in the semifinals, they met their match once the number 20 San Diego State Aztecs stepped on the court. The Spartans went on to lose 64-49. Coach Tim Miles spoke highly of the Aztecs and his team after the game.
Yeah, they're outstanding. You know, they're one of the elite in the entire country. They're locked and loaded tonight, ready to get us, and we just didn't have a very good night.
Now, the men's basketball season isn't completely over, as they will play in the College Basketball Invitational beginning this Saturday in Daytona Beach, taking on Southern Indiana at 12:30 Pacific time. San Jose State softball ended their weekend taking down Rhode Island twice. They lost their first matchup on Saturday to CSU Northridge 10-5, but the Spartans bounced back in their follow-up game. Junior Adriana Noriega started the night off by hitting an RBI single to bring home teammate redshirt senior Alyssa Graham to take a 1-0 lead. Senior Jessica Giacomo hit the second RBI of the game, batting in sophomore Ashley Legler to increase the lead to 2-0. The final run came behind a pitching error to give the Spartans a 3-0 lead, scoring sophomore Aubrey Thomas. But redshirt senior pitcher Janessa Yalegi shined as she struck out 13 batters and allowed only 1 run, leading the Spartans to a 3-1 victory over Rhode Island. That's it for the sports update this week. I'm Laverne Johnson.
It's beginning to look a lot like graduation on the San Jose State campus. The ceremony is still 2 months out, but GradFest is underway. Reporter Asia Tebeno talked to excited graduating students, some of whom are reminiscing about their journey.
You can feel the excitement in the air. GradFest is up and running. Graduating seniors are packing the San Jose State campus bookstore, getting supplies for their big day. Some of them sharing how it feels to be this close to the end of the road.
I took the 3-year part-time Master's of Social Work program because I am a full-time employee, so that was a lot to balance. So I'm just glad that this journey is over.
And she's not alone, as many students say they've worked hard too.
I am a public health major and I want to go to environmental studies once I graduate. As I've been in this major, I've been learning about the negative effects of industrial plants on lower income communities. And once I graduate, I want to continue researching the negative impacts of plants on our environment.
It's also picture taking time. Graduating seniors get the chance to take a portrait. On the house, Omid Farhumand jumped on the chance.
This is the second batch that I get it in America. So I like to take a photo because the last one I didn't take it. And the process is so good if you get an appointment and go so fast.
Well, graduates, you have 10 weeks left. Finish strong and congratulations. I'm Asia Tebeno, Update News.
If you haven't already planned your weekend, Carson's got some ideas for you in her calendar.
Here's what's coming up this week. On March 17th, celebrate St. Patrick's Day. There's a variety of St. Patrick's Day events going on, so scan the QR code to see which one you might be interested in. On March 18th, attend the pop-up market from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Healing Place Wellness Center. Support local vendors and admission is free. On March 21st, Party Classy is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on 7th Street. Get free food and learn how to party responsibly this spring break. That's all for this week.
That does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.